What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be continuing with the Juno through the houses synastry and talking about having your Juno falling into your partner's 6th house in synastry and what that looks like. So when looking at Juno, this is really an asteroid in synastry that has to do with long-term commitments, partnerships, and things like marriage and things within the marriage, as well as things to do with what you're looking for in a partner when it comes to long-term commitments and how you show up in a relationship that's more so a long-term committed relationship with someone. It can be very helpful for being able to understand better the dynamics around loyalty and even just the distribution of power in a relationship or a partnership. And it can also be helpful for being able to determine various ways to be able to experience a more fulfilling and even longer lasting relationship with someone, as it can show the more deeper dynamics in the relationship between two people and where harmony can be achieved, and also what can also help with getting through any kind of conflict in a relationship. It is important for being able to understand how one person approaches commitment and how that differs from another person in a relationship, and that can be very valuable insights when it comes to the relationship between two people. So in this video, I'm going to be speaking about what it can look like to have this asteroid, Juno, coming into the 6th house. And the 6th house is the house that governs things to do with the more daily life activities and routines. And it can be a house that's addressing things to do with health as well and work. And it's a very service-oriented kind of house. So this can show and point to a relationship with a lot of service-oriented love between two people. With the 6th house being such a practical and functional house, the love expressed between the Juno person and the 6th house person can be seen in even the little things when it comes to making their relationship function on a daily basis. It can be filled with a lot of acts of service, and that can be a love language that is showing the love between the two partners with this overlay in their relationship. In this relationship, they can come to find that the Juno person is the one who has an influence on the 6th house person's life on a day-to-day basis in some way when it comes to how they show up for the relationship. It's like they're committed to some kind of daily routine between both of the partners that allows for both of them to be able to experience life running smoothly. And that could be them organizing the daily tasks or managing and organizing things to do with the household responsibilities in the house. And they generally could be more dedicated to very practical parts of the relationship. The Juno person can bring the sense of reliability and practicality to this relationship, and the 6th house person can also depend on the Juno person in this relationship when it comes to things like being reliable and being able to be someone that the 6th house person can even count on to be able to handle responsibilities efficiently and effectively. Like if, say for instance, the 6th house person is feeling overwhelmed with work, then they have someone that they can count on and rely on in the Juno person when it comes to this relationship dynamic. They can really count on the Juno person to be that person who steps up and is also able to take on things to do with helping out in practical ways, like doing the household chores, and even things like helping them manage their time better. And if necessary, they can also help with being able to help them schedule health checkups and fitness activities and things to promote a healthier lifestyle. The Juno person can be somebody who helps out with helping the 6th house person be someone who stays on top of those things. And they can really bring practical assistance into this relationship with the 6th house person. And the Juno person's influence on the 6th house person and in this relationship is that they can also teach the 6th house person when it comes to being able to be more dedicated to life and the routines and the habits that go into it. And not only that, but they also offer the sense of support into this relationship and can actually go both ways with this. They can support each other in a lot of ways when it comes to their relationship, even in the small things and the daily habits. The Juno person here can be very supportive of the sixth house person's work and their career, and they can also influence this relationship with the sixth house person by allowing for them to have an easier time with being able to focus on work and remaining grounded when it comes to that, because the Juno person here is really a stabilizing presence in the sixth house person's life, especially when it comes to these things. They can provide a lot of help to the sixth house person, and that can allow for them to be able to focus more on their more professional pursuits. So the Juno person can show that they care and they show their commitment through the acts of service that they can be very, very dedicated to or committed to in the sixth house person's life. Like the Juno person will even help the sixth house person with being able to develop and pick up some good habits around being more disciplined when it comes to these things, like sticking to a schedule and being able to develop a routine that works and maintains a more organized lifestyle for them. And with Juno coming into the sixth house here, the sixth house person can really appreciate the assistance that the Juno person can be bringing into their life. They can feel very cared for through the actions and the support and help that the Juno person is bringing into this relationship. And with it being Juno here, it can be very pleasant and it can be something that the sixth house person can be more open to, as opposed to if, say, it was somebody Saturn coming into your sixth house, can feel very restrictive and it can feel unwelcome to the sixth house person. Even though Saturn's all about structure, would be providing something helpful to the structure of the sixth house person. It may feel like it is something that is being imposed upon them and can be less welcome, especially if it's not being done in a way that's sensitive to the sixth house person. With the Juno coming in here, it can be something more welcome, something more appreciated, and the sixth house person can be more open to it, and it can actually contribute to the day-to-day life of the sixth house person and the Juno person being something that is more fulfilling and more pleasant. The support in this relationship can be very mutual, and the sixth house person can also do a lot for the Juno person too. But when it comes to the things that the Juno person is doing for the sixth house person can play a very receptive role, and they can be very appreciative of everything that the Juno person is helping them with. And the very service-oriented attitude in the relationship can go both ways, and it can be very refreshing and feel like a sense of care for the sixth house person. And their relationship with the Juno person can allow for a lot of improvements in their lives, and even on a personal level, they can experience a lot of self-improvements through the relationship with the Juno person here. Whether that's in their health or in their work or in their wellness, it can be a very improving relationship, as well as a very motivating one. In fact, a lot of things that they do can have a very teamwork kind of approach when it comes to their responsibilities, and both the Juno person and the sixth house person can work really well together, whether it's on handling everyday small things or the more bigger things. They can have the sense of teamwork when it comes to them approaching things together. And the Juno person coming here can be introducing a lot of new routines or new ways to do things, and even suggestions to the sixth house person, but they can be very open to it, and those can lead to new and even improving ways of handling things. And in that way, they can also help the sixth house person when it comes to them being more flexible and able to be more efficient and improve ways of doing things, which the sixth house person can be very open to. However, when it comes to the more challenging sides of the synastry with someone, it can be in how there can be a huge focus placed on the duties and responsibilities, which can also have a negative impact on the relationship, because it can put a lot of pressure or reduce the amount of relaxation in the relationship between the two partners. It is possible that with the synastry, the 6th house person and the Juno person work together, or they meet in a workspace and form their relationship through having had met in that way. But another challenge is in how they could have a hard time with being able to carve out time for the more less monotonous side of things, like being able to go out on dates and being able to have spontaneous adventures in their relationship with each other. And this can lead to feelings of monotony when there's too much of a focus on the duties and the responsibilities in the relationship, like the household things like the chores or schedules and routines. And they would want to avoid making this relationship feel more like a relationship of convenience, since there is such a big focus on more practical matters and routines. And another thing that can be a challenge in this relationship is in how there can be a bit of an imbalance in this relationship in depending on each other when it comes to things like support and who is running and in charge of the routines and the schedules, especially that run on a daily basis, and who is relying more heavily on the other partner to be able to get those things done and also support them and create the sense of structure around these things, which can lead to a sense of imbalance when it comes to the dependency in the relationship and the control. And it is a service-oriented kind of relationship between the two of them, and they may need to be able to maintain that sense of balance between who's serving who and avoid the imbalance around it. However, in the positive, this can make for a very great relationship in a lot of ways, and both of the partners experience this feeling of being improved through their interactions together and their well-being, as well as even their everyday life, their work life and personal growth can experience a big improvement. It can be a relationship where both of the partners really pay attention, and that can be with being able to pay attention to details in their relationship and things that can help the other partner be able to improve in certain ways, whether it is in their health or it is in their work life. They are very supportive when it comes to the practical side of things and being able to provide assistance in ways that can help each other be able to make their lives better. There can be a strong sense of partnership, teamwork, and a feeling of having a lot of support from each other in this relationship as they work well. And there can be a lot of strengthened bonding between the two partners, as they can feel the sense of partnership, teamwork when they are working together. Even in the everyday things, like the everyday tasks that they do, they can offer each other a lot of support, and it can be something that they can find a lot of enjoyment and fulfillment in doing with each other in this relationship. There's an overall sense of unity between the two of them, from being able to also create a sense of bonding through being able to do tasks together. It can be a strong willingness to help each other, which can make both of the partners feel very cared for and very supported in this relationship, and that can be very nice having this overlay with someone. Well, that does it for this video on having your partner's Juno in your 6th house in synastry. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel for more videos. Well, that is where I love and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.